up, guys? Welcome back. As you guys can tell, what's behind me here is a bunch of boxes, big boxes of parts. Some of these I'm going to probably talk about later in another video. Definitely do a video on this. I'm going to do, basically I could do a whole bunch of unboxing, but I think what I'm going to do is show you just a little bit of what I have, talk about what's in these as I sort of unbox them, try to make it a short video. And then from there, I think what I'm going to do is that what's in here are parts that people commonly buy for their classic trucks. So I'm going to compare it to what's on my truck and just see how close how close they are, you know, from factory parts to reproduction. These parts behind me are autokrafters, so I know they're good. I know their quality. I've always used autokrafters. I used to use them on my Fairlane that I had. My dad used them when he rebuilt his Fairlane, so I know they're good. And as you can tell, if you know anything about cab mounts, front cab mounts, these are the correct ones, which I'll talk a little bit about. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I have, and then we're going to compare parts. So let's get into it. So as you can tell, the engine is missing. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But right here, I figure while the engine's out, you clean up a lot of stuff, right? So if I can get this. So I bought 2 sets, I don't know, 25 feet or something stupid, of the copper or the zinc style of the brake lines. The OEM size, and that escapes me, 3/16. Anyway, and then I have the same, but in that normal steel, which is probably closer to what you know, they put in these from factory and stuff. We'll see what I use on there, but I have those. I mentioned these already, but these are front cab mounts for 1967 to 1972. The part number, I don't know if you'd be able to see that. It's right there. Again, these are from autokrafters. These, man, like I don't know the thickness of metal that they used back in the 60s. It's quite thick for cab mounts. I can maybe assume that they were thicker back in the day. I don't have the cab mount to really compare it to, but these are the correct ones. They're the 2-piece, right? When you order some of these from certain places, I will remain them nameless, you get sort of like one piece that looked like it was sort of casted in that way. They work, I'm sure, and like I said, I don't have anything to compare here with me, but they seem to be a thinner metal, so it's sort of like, if you're gonna do it right, then these are it. And autokrafters, they have them, so, and pretty affordable too. With that being said, before I move on, guys, if you head over to autokrafters and take a look and you see something you want and you've got your shopping cart online, or you want to give them a call or whatever, shopping cart over $100, you can actually use a promo code, all caps, AK F100 World. That'll save you 10%. You also get a pretty good percentage off. I want to say 30 or 50% off of their gold membership, if you want to call it. And you know, you guys can go look at it. I'll probably put some stuff up of all the benefits, like more affordable shipping and so on. So those are those options. So autokrafters doing some really good stuff out there, really quality stuff. So, all right, what's behind me? This is actually for my interior. I think I'll open it on another day. So if you want to know what this is, yeah. Alrighty, so this right here, a lot of people call them front bumper deflector stone. I call them lower valances. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Yeah, so 67 to 72. Literally just going to tear into these. Oh yeah, they came freight, and these are mint. Like, these don't even have any dents in them really, and they're shipped freight on a crate. So if you're gonna do parts, do them all at once maybe, because you'll get a better deal, especially with the promo code I just told you, AK F100 World. So, but anyway, so no reason to think that these are gonna be messed up. So she's in there. I'm using a new camera, it's a new GoPro. We'll see how quality it is, but I like the wide angle, and hopefully it's a little better than my GoPro Hero 3, but here it is. Wow. So again, you notice it says 67 to 72. If you guys know anything about our trucks, in 1970 they switched to this part right here is longer. I could compare it, and I'll compare it here in a second, but there's a hole there as well. So it looks like if you buy this for a 70 to 72, you're gonna have to drill your own hole, it looks like, which is all right, I guess. Less years that have this than the prior ones. It looks like, it feels like it's a little bit of a lighter metal. Again, I don't know, I don't have all of the specs, if you will, of what came OEM. It feels lighter than the one I have. And yeah, so let's see if this part is any wider, because the 1967 to 1969s were smaller, they were narrower here. So let's take a look. You know what? That's the same thickness of metal, honestly. Wow. I do notice this though. It's gonna be noisy if you have headphones on. So the original, the one that I have, I didn't order those. So I don't think I need them. Mine are pretty clean. But that's something to know, is that when you order your lower Valance, it doesn't come with those. So, and then if you guys can tell what I mean, so this is for this lower Valance is for 1970 to 1972, and there's no holes. So you gotta drill, it's like 2 holes actually. So there's that, right? Let's see if there are any. Okay, looks like, wow, that's a little, looks like they met somewhere in the middle. It's possible, but you see how the bottom one, which is the OEM, is wider for the later years, and the top one, which looks like it's it's narrower, but I don't know if it's narrow as the 1967 to 1969 ones, but it's a little bit narrower. So I don't think that's an issue for the grill / lights that go in the 1970 to 72. So, but yeah, there's a comparison for you. Okay, I will say, which I'm happy about. You know, I don't know if everything is perfectly in its place, but it comes with all of the mounts for the underneath mounts, and the holes are drilled, and it looks like it's good in regards to that. You should just be able to take your OEM stuff and plop it on here or buy new. But yeah, interesting. So far, pretty good quality. This is really gonna paint it nice. Because I do Radican paint jobs because I'm cheap. I wouldn't if I just had $5 grand to blow, but anyway. So yeah, cool. Pretty impressed with this so far. Let's go on to the next thing. Probably save the big one for last. So let's go to a fender. I'll show you the part number real quick on this. There's the part number for the 1967 to 72 fenders. This is one side part number. The other one. Alright, okay, so this is 16006A, and the other side is 16005A. So there's 2 sides. Cool. I don't know which one is the side. I want to compare it to this fender because it's right there. Ah, I got lucky. All right. Nice. Yes. Great shape. Very cool. That's nice. Pretty heavy. You know, if you know these trucks at all, so in we'll just say slick. So slicks, if you guys know, are 1961 to 1966, and they used a thicker metal, and it hung on in our trucks for in the bed for 1 year, 1967. So the front was a thinner metal. But as, I don't know, probably thinner a little bit than the prior generation, but the bed back here is thick. So looking pretty quality. I like it. Cool. There's a crease here. Looks like they did that for fitment reasons though, so that's cool. That's all right. Down here on my fenders, when I got them, they were I freshened them up, so they're OEM. I cut this out right here because it holds onto water, and I don't know if I'm going to do that on this one, but yeah, wow. I don't really have much to say on these. Pretty quality, you know, from maybe just mess with a bunch of OEM parts. I haven't touched too many of these new parts. I will say though, the black stuff's coming off my hand, so may require sanding. What do you guys think? Post down below. I want the closest to OEM as I can get, and if it's made in the USA, for sure. But this isn't made in China. It's made in Taiwan, so it's right here. But I'm happy with, so far, what it seems strong. It's not really flailing around any more than an OEM. So let's compare it to, so this is kind of hanging on because I'm changing my engine out. You can check out that video up above here. Let's see here. Let's try not to scratch this up, even though it doesn't matter. There you go. Yeah, so that sounds pretty close, right? I mean, this is bolted down a little bit, not up front, but I'm happy with that. Some of you metal guys are like, that's a stupid test, but yeah, whatever. Definitely not a metal connoisseur, is there such a thing? Anyway, so yeah, seems pretty good. The you know, the real test though for all these parts is like installing them, how they fit, for example, you know, and in these trucks, the fenders that come on the 70 72s, for some reason are lower right here. I don't know why, or so I'm told. I could be wrong, but I have that scenario right now on my truck. I think this is a 1967 to 1969 fender, and my other one is a 1970 to 72 fender, I think. And the reason being is that if I recall, this part right here on both sides on a 70 to 72 is just a little bit different. I don't know what they did, but anyway. So the real test is fitting, but right now I'm just looking at what we got here, and so far I'm pretty happy. Ask some questions down below. I'll try to answer them if you guys are interested. All right. I'm happy. What else can I compare here? So I busted these fenders off. So these structural braces here for mounting seem pretty legit. They're shaped a little different down here, but only just. So I'm happy. You know, I didn't think about getting all the hardware, but oh well. All right, on to the next. You know, they have these little things that sort of keep it from bouncing around too much in the box, but they still probably do, and I'm not noticing too much scuffing. It's pretty cool. Like I notice it like along the edges here, but I don't know what kind of paint this is, so very cool. Wow. I'm impressed, guys. I'm freaking impressed. You know, maybe some of my more Ford guru guys will have something to say. You know, maybe Keith Dixon from fortification.com and .net, go check him out. And he's also got the Facebook groups. But I like it. I'm happy with what I'm seeing so far. All right, what do we have next here? You can probably guess. In fact, I probably already said. Very nice. Now this one, this is going, unlike, I mean, it matters on the fenders, but this one for me, I need it to have all the right holes in the right I mean, I'm okay with drilling and everything like that. I'm totally okay with that, or tapping, you know, like just tacking a weld on a nut or something like that. But I need this to be pretty spot on. But I won't know until I attempt to install it. But, whoa, well, it's heavy, as it should be. Radiator core support, 1967 to 1972. Now I am going to compare this, don't drop it, to the one I have, which is somewhere. It's going to be fun to get to. But anyway, and just see if I notice anything missing, you know, in regards to, I mean, obviously this part you'd have to use off of yours. I see threaded bolts in here, so that's good. I could see like a cheap knockoff, kind of not having those, because this is obviously where the upper balance connects to and the fenders do. Cool. Guys, I'm pretty freaking impressed. Is there anything I should be looking at here? Do you have any questions? Ask away. Probably by the time you watch this, I'll have this more inspected, and it'll be a while before I install it, but wow, heck yeah. Sweet. I'm happy with it. Like I said 4 times now, it's about installing. We'll see how everything lines up, but I'm pretty happy with this. My gosh. Wow, this is solid. Oh wow. So on the bottom they have thicker metal. That's cool. So here you have just sort of like what they normally have, like layered metal for strength here as well. But here, you hear the difference? That's some solid metal. So this is ready to go for a long time, especially if you paint it correctly. Again, I don't know what this stuff is. If it's anything that can really protect it. It looks like it's coming off pretty easy, but wow. You know what that probably is too, is that oil stuff that keeps them from rusting maybe, I don't know. So yeah, wow, that's solid. I'm happy. Let me grab the other one. This one is a little heavier, but it also still has some parts on it, so I'm gonna get this all in frame for you guys. Okay. Man, what's the difference here? Okay. So I noticed I gotta take these off. Obviously those. Obviously the, whatever you call those that you use the bolt on. What are those called? Anyway. I got a pretty solid core support, but along the bottom where the thick metal is, it's rusting on each end, and I've very ghetto fixed it like years ago, and it's holding up, but not very well. So, wow, let's do like a weight test here. Man, I don't know. Well, they're close. They're close. That one feels heavier, my right hand or my left, but it also has more stuff on it. Still has a lot of the bolts. Okay. So I do notice something. So I'm sure it's the right threads and everything. But these, sort of those, like I mentioned, tacked in bolts for the nuts for the bolts, these are different. They stick out a little bit off the surface on this. What is this? This is the outside of the core support. And these are different, and they sit out further. Could mean absolutely nothing, could mean something. What else here? So I still have, I have a lot of stuff attached to this still. Let you look at the old one a little bit. You know what I'm gonna say? Maybe it has to do with a little different than what they had in the 60s. Totally realistic. And these, like I said, have bolts, stuff bolted up to it, and parts of it are rusting down below, but it sounds like it's a little thicker, and it feels a little heavier, so But then again, I bet you in each of these corners there's just a bunch of chunks of dirt and rocks and rust. So there's that. I don't have any more to say to this. I wish I was a little bit more of somebody that could probably, you know, speak the terminology and talk about the differences between metal, besides doing some kind of knock test like I'm doing. But the reality is a lot of us are not professionals in that way. We just want new core supports, we want new parts, we want quality. So this is just sort of a once over, from what I can tell, just looking at it, sort of reference. So I'm happy with the new one. We will see how it installs, but so I think what I'm gonna do next is this. I'm gonna set this. I'm gonna move the camera and I'm gonna set it where it belongs, the new one, and just see if I spot anything right off the bat. All right, nothing stands out right off the bat. I do know it's sitting weird, but you guys know when you uninstall these, like with keeping the fenders and everything on, they sag. So I'm gonna attempt to lift everything up and set it on it, just see how it fits. Looks like something I can work with. I was worried that this fin right here would interfere, and it kind of might, but it's thin enough that maybe it'll bend like when I bolt it down. But the holes are close enough over here. Now granted, I just slapped it in there, don't have anything lined up, but yeah, it looks pretty good. Woo! Look at this. I mean, these holes are lining up right here. Pretty decent. I have one frame horn that looks like it's been mended in the past, so it looks pretty good. I wonder, I'm gonna put the other one, set it in front, and I'm gonna see if I can spot, can you see that at all? See if I can't spot like a bolt or a hole that's, so okay. So comparing, you got a hole here, there's one there, you got dents, we've got 2 nuts, 1 hole, 2 nuts, 2 nuts, 1 hole. There's, looks like I'm gonna have to drill a couple things. Some of these are probably not OEM, but that's not too bad. Hole up here, hole there. Looks like everything's, they even have the square dents for strength. Okay, yeah, let's look over here. So mine's been, you guys can tell, my original's been sort of bent here. So we've got 2 bolts, 2 bolts, 2 bolts. Looks like one of my bolts popped out. So that's actually a benefit. And then one up high. Cool. So I got a couple extra holes here. The original hole looks like correct. And yeah, I'm gonna have to drill a few, but that ain't bad. They've got all the OEM holes, which is pretty good. Alrighty, cool. If you guys have any questions, just ask down at the bottom and I can see if I can remember, depending on how long it's been, or if you guys are just watching the video 2021, I can go out and take a look. Looks pretty good though. Well guys, that's it. Like I said, if you have any questions, hit me up down in the comments. I will do my best to answer them quickly and as accurately as possible. Really happy with the parts, as you guys can tell. Again, that is autokrafters, so they've been around since like 1978. Ron Miller, I think he's the president or something big like that. And he's a, I'll just say it, I don't know if he self-declared this or not, but he's a pretty big Ford enthusiast and at least knows his stuff for running that company. And if you guys want to call him, it's 1-800-228-7346 for your old school guys. They do have, I believe, still free catalogs on their website. You got to jump on there, navigate, and find them. I'll try to put the link down below. But definitely I'll put the link of www.autokrafters.com. That's with a K. So I'll probably have their little logo up here somewhere. But That is autokrafters.com. Again, you guys can jump on there, and if you're spending, by the way, if you're watching this and you don't have a Ford truck, you can. They have Mustangs. I mean, anything that's Ford Classic. I mean, especially mainstream Mustangs, Fairlanes, Falcons, Torinos, you know, stuff like that. They have catalogs for. They have parts for. So, and I'll be honest, everything I've gotten from them, if they don't have it, they're sourcing it from somebody else, and it's the good stuff. So far, I haven't really had any, you know, run-in with them, so I was really happy that they were open to sponsor this video and probably a few more down the road, because they really hooked me up. Good deal. So again, if you have a Ford truck and you're spending over $100, AK F100 World, all caps, and you can save 10% on $100. So if you're doing something like some big stuff like this, like I did, then that'll save you a lot of money, and you also get a pretty fat deal on their gold membership. So head over there, check them out. Guys, give this video a like, thumbs up, whatever you want to call it, and subscribe if you guys are watching on the Ford F100 World groups, which is Build It Your Way. We got Mercury M100 World, the local Missouri F100 World, all the Ford groups. Then yeah, share it if you will. I want to just get this information out there. I don't see a lot of this, so I'm happy to have this opportunity to hopefully share some information for people down the road, hopefully forever. These videos, I hope they stick around. I hope they are used. I know I'm going to be sharing them on all the groups. So check out our groups at Ford F100 World and so on and so forth. The company is called CraigerCoClassic. Sort of a social media company, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it's where I sort of pull everything together. For those of you that are just not into Fords, we've got Steel Beauties, which is everything's Steel Beauty, man. Steel Beauties. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.